everyone, and welcome to Mind Matters, a podcast where we talk about the shitty aspects of student life because not everything is rainbows and butterflies all the time. So let's talk about us because shit happens. So I'm your host, I'm Jade, and I'm here with Kelsey. And today we will be covering procrastination and how it affects us in various ways. At the end of the day, we're just a bunch of students figuring everything out and trying to make our way in the world just like you. So, Hello Kelsey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Well, thank you for the introduction, Jade. So we are going to talk about procrastination. And I would just like to start off with the question, do you have any experience with procrastination?
Well, I do have to say that deadlines were, a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
right,
for our concepting stage. And when I tell you that I left my entire individual portfolio till the last day, I'm not joking. The last day, I had nothing. And I'm dead serious.
Oh
I had
goodness.
absolutely nothing. And I sat and I worked at school from 11 a.m. till the deadline, which was 12 at night. I handed it in 15 minutes before Blackboard crashed, by the way, to all the teachers that are listening to this. Blackboard crashed when I was trying to hand in my work 15 minutes before the deadline. Handed it in, and I was so stressed. I was just crying, trying to put everything in APA. I said to myself, I will never do this to myself ever again. But guess what? I was in exactly the same position a few months before with the previous deadline.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I cried a lot. And then I was just like, why am I crying? I did this to myself. But,
True.
It happens. How about you?
Yeah, I have had my fair share of experience with procrastination. But I don't know. For me, it's just being in a very stressful situation. I'm prone to worry. And I don't know, I kind of turned to procrastination to cope as a coping strategy, kind of. And yeah, because it's not like I don't want to do it. It's just an anxiety, Yeah. And also for the first module of this school year, it was like I was definitely not ready for school to start again, after the summer break.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I also had just come back from a trip, and that was already extremely exhausting. Fun, but exhausting. And I was just not fully, back to energy to start back on school, So I kind of procrastinated a lot with the first few assignments, and yeah, it was also really difficult because I was also just feeling so bad about myself and just shameful,
Because also it's not like something that comes from anything external. It's like you do this to yourself. It's the worst. Why? I hate it. I hate it so much, but I still
exactly.
do it. So.
And I do actually have a really interesting question to ask you, and that is, do you believe that procrastination is a choice?
Yeah,
I
do.
You do.
But I think we should definitely ask the same question to our special guest here today. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Hello, I'm Jochem. I'm now a second-year credit business student, part of student council and a lot of other things, but I have had my fair share of experience with procrastination.
Well, that's why you're here.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
I love how we were looking for someone as a guest on this episode. And Kelsey was like, I know exactly who I'm going to ask.
Yep.
She was I have the perfect person. I was supposed to find someone a guest for this episode. And Kelsey was like to me, no. I know exactly who I'm going to ask. So
I don't know if I should feel flattered or offended at this point.
I think offended. I think offended is the correct response.
And I just remembered because, we've worked together once before in a group. And I remember this moment that we were sharing stuff about each other that we were struggling with. And yeah, you mentioned, having quite some experiences with procrastination in your high school years, that, it was a big deal, and that you're, also, I think, still currently working on it.
Yeah, I mean,
so, yeah.
throughout the years, as a high school student, that was an actual very, very horrible student. I wasn't the hardest worker. I was really enjoying my free time as much as I could, and even if I had assignments, I would make sure I'd prefer my free time over my assignments, which is it's a bad thing. Yeah.
I start doing all the things that I would never normally do. Like I'm talking like cleaning, like everything. I will just start cleaning. Like if there's something that I don't want to do, I'm cleaning. I'm like obsessing, like, and not just like cleaning, like normal cleaning. Like I'm talking like scrubbing everything.
Yeah.
And suddenly all that stuff that I would not do on a daily basis. Suddenly now I'm gonna go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in 3 weeks. Actually I haven't. It's been longer than 3 weeks. Let me not lie to you guys. It's been like 2 months or something. Anyways, but like when I'm procrastinating, I'll be like, I'm gonna go to the gym because like
everything is better than the assignment you're supposed to be doing.
And it's normally with the simplest tasks. Like
yeah.
Also like something that I could do in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, or I start organizing my file structure on my computer instead of just like working on a uni assignment.
Yeah.
Or I start cleaning my room. Everything that feels productive, apart from the productive thing I'm meant to be doing, is I don't know, it's way better.
Yeah. But personally, I start doing those tasks, the household and everything, when pressure is really on. When we're so close to deadlines and I'm like, I need to do it, but I can't do it. So I'll do something else productive. So I will still feel kind of better about myself.
It's like a false sense of security because you're trying to like feel productive and do something, but you're actually doing worse. I mean, it's good that you're doing it, but it's like, I don't know, it's like a false remedy because you're working on something you shouldn't be working on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So getting back to what you just mentioned about, your high school days and that you choose to have fun instead of doing what you were supposed to do. Same question to you then. Do you believe procrastination is a choice?
I don't think procrastination is a choice. I think hard work is a choice. Trying to work, and I think procrastination is something that comes, about not wanting to do the work. So in a way, it is a choice, but it's a natural. I think it's a natural thing that happens, right? Because it means we're gonna have to do something that's not comfortable, that we don't enjoy. So it means having to do something that we absolutely despise. And who would choose something that you don't like over something that you do like, right? Everyone enjoys free time over a school assignment, so it's very easy to make that choice for you. I mean, if someone invites you to a social event and you're like, I have to uni, you're like, screw it, I have time later, right? Because it's much more enjoyable to go to a social event rather than work on a uni assignment, for example.
Yeah. Personally, I kind of think it's really depending on the situation, the person, and also the mood the person is in. So, for me, for instance, it's really anxiety that plays a big role in it. But yeah, and for some, it might be, having a fun experience to do with your friends and stuff. So I think it really depends on those factors.
Yeah. But I also really enjoy the pressure that comes with procrastination. In a way, it's weird because I feel like when I'm supposed to be working on uni and I just work, I just go, I have all the time, it's fine, I'll be okay. And then when deadline is coming, for example, concepting portfolio, that's the worst ever.
Oh,
that one day,
I relate to you so much, and it's just like
it's so bad.
It's crazy.
I started in the night. I pulled on all nighter the night before. I had like 7 Red Bulls over the span of like 9 hours. I even took some pre-workout from the gym to stay awake.
Oh, I love that.
Because the Red Bull wasn't working anymore. I needed more caffeine in my body. And I had 2 hours of sleep. I woke up nauseous because I didn't get any sleep. My body felt horrible after all of that.
And also some kind of like satisfaction in knowing that you can actually do this in like a few hours.
24 hours. Yeah.
The horrible, like when I finished, I'm just like, damn, I really did that.
This, yeah.
I really did that. Like a few weeks of work in one day, like less than a day, like in a few hours. I really do that. Yeah. And also like the worst part is about procrastinating is that I can't learn my lesson,
No.
Because every single individual assignment that we get, I've done on the day or the day before, and I have never failed. I need to fail. Like, can someone fail me?
You need a reality check.
Please, so that I can just like, my ego can come down a little bit and just be like, you actually can't do this.
Especially after people are building it up like, it's so much work, it's horrible, and you're like, it could be, because you haven't tried it yet. And then you manage to do the hard work everyone's been mentioning in like a couple of hours, and you're like...
And you get like a 7 or an 8, and you're like,
this is fine.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Wait. So what I'm hearing right now is you guys actually don't really feel like procrastination is an issue.
As long as you make the assignment and you pass, why would it be an issue? I think it's fine.
No, it is an issue. It
Is
is
it?
definitely
You
an
think?
issue, because the thing is that as soon as I'm finished with it, which now I am, I forget exactly how I felt in that moment, you know?
Right.
Sitting there on my laptop, crying, putting everything into APA because I had a few minutes left to hand it in. Like, and I'm just so stressed. Like, I was just like, and I completely forget what it feels like. Like, I know that it was bad, but I'm kind of like, like, it doesn't really feel that bad. Then next time I know that I'll be like, oh, this is horrible, but like, at the same time, I'm kind of like,
Then I'd rather suffer those 24 hours than I would suffer throughout the module by having to constantly remind myself of the work I need to be doing.
fair enough.
That
fair
is
enough.
true. Yeah,
I
that
think
is
we're
very
just the
true.
biggest advocates for procrastinating.
This is
This
horrible.
is
Yeah,
horrible.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
we need to be better
This
than
is-
this. Come
yeah.
on, man.
You
Don't
guys-
listen. Just listen to us and be like, okay, you know, we don't want to be like them. Like, please, like,
But in a way, I mean, procrastination is seen as bad because that means you're less productive throughout the module. But I mean, isn't it all about like the work you're getting done? Right?
In the end, yeah.
Not trying to
I
advocate
guess.
for procrastination, right?
No.
But if you're in a professional working field and you get an assignment, whether
if
you
it's done,
start,
it's done.
if
If
it's
you
done,
reach
it's
the
done.
deadline.
Yeah. If they're satisfied with it, why not?
True.
This is so bad. We're advocating for procrastination.
Yeah.
The only thing I should say it's bad for is if you're not doing it throughout the module and you're putting it all in like a certain like 24 hours, for example, that means throughout the module you're doing nothing and you're not really going beyond what you have to do. So you're not really learning more. You're doing the bare minimum,
yeah, that's pretty much
which
it.
would be a bad thing.
Personally, I think it gets bad when it like affects, you know, of course, your own education, but also the people around you. So if you're working in a group, for instance, and you're procrastinating, you know, the things you have to do, then it affects the rest as well. And I mean,
Most of the time I
Yeah.
procrastinate with my individual though,
Yeah,
I would say,
I
because
would
it only involves me. So I'm just like, this is my problem.
okay, yeah, but that's
You know?
okay. Then, you know, then it can only affect you,
Yeah.
not others.
And it's easier to motivate other people with each other when you're working with each other and doing something because, I mean, you have to do it and you're slowly pushing each other into doing it. But when it's an individual, right, and you have to combine it with a, group assignment, you're going to prioritize the group assignment because everyone's working on it and you're not thinking about your individual because you're already busy with the group assignment. So why would you then have the double discomfort, of doing
Fair.
the individual next to your group assignment?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's a good point. It is a good point. I
Well
like your
then-
thinking. It's the same as mine.
And then I have one last question to ask you: is what how did you overcome procrastination?
I think how I overcame it is by really taking on more workload in a way. So I've joined Stuco. I'm now vice chair of the student council as well.
Hey.
Yeah, doing my hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, while procrastinating. No, and I'm also now part of Matters as well. So by taking on more workload, I feel like the expectations are higher as well. So I have to do more and perform more because I think what it's for me is that I really let it depend on other people of what they expect of me and what I have to do because I know I'm not getting shit done by myself. Right, like I
Yeah.
said, the intrinsic motivation, I don't have that. Right, to be like, I'm gonna sit on my PC and just like work 8 hours on like a project I want. I'm not doing that. But if there's something like, I need to do something for student council, write emails, contact people, have meetings, then I'm doing it for other people as well. So I'm more motivated to complete those tasks.
Yeah, I think motivation is, a big part of procrastination. Also, like, external motivation
Yeah.
from other people. Like, also, like, I mean, I think if everything were just up to me and I didn't have people saying, come on, Jade, like, just do it, which sounds really bad
Yeah.
because, like, I'm 20 and I'm just like, I should be able to do this by myself. But, sometimes you
Yeah.
just need a little push from other people.
Of course.
I don't think I'm ever going to overcome procrastination either, but
Do you have things that like help you to, stop that procrastinating and finally get to work, or is it really just that pressure?
Yeah, it's just give me a deadline. Give me a deadline.
You
Honestly.
need a push.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
need I really do. I really need a push. Like when I tell you that my banking hasn't been working on my phone for a few months and all I have to do is go into the bank. It's going to take me 5 minutes. I work close to the bank. I am so close to the bank every day and I have
Right.
not gone there.
Oh my lord.
It's going to take me
yeah.
5 minutes. 3 months. 3 months it hasn't been working.
Right.
Yeah.
And it causes me so many inconveniences like you would not believe. Like, it is so inconvenient for me, like, because I can't, like, move money into my account. Like, I can't do that. I have to do it like from my other shitty phone, which is broken. That's why my banking isn't working. But like, I will not, for the life of me, go in and do it.
But that means
I can't even. It doesn't even make sense to me. I'm like, why?
So you need an older person then to go with you, most likely, in order so you can finally do it, because you're not doing it on your own.
It's so stupid. That's the thing. I don't even understand it. It makes no sense to me. So, what we should have probably mentioned earlier is that, do you have a song for us?
I do have a song that's very tied to, when I'm, not feeling the best sometimes, and that I'm just listening to like, it's kind of weird. I listen to it to make myself feel worse. In a way, I know
exactly how you feel.
But that's normal,
making you feel worse.
Yeah, but you hear all the time that when you're sad, you had a breakup, and then you listen to breakup songs and sad songs.
I listen to them regardless of my mood, regardless of whether I'm happy or sad.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Even when I'm happy, I listen to, like, I'd say generally more sad songs that people would generally think of as sad. I don't know. It's a weird thing I have, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. And you don't know the reason behind it, or?
No, I don't know. I think the song feels more authentic to the artist, because it truly came from a place that they resonate with, and it feels more real because it meant the song means something to them. So it maybe feels like the song means something, should feel something to me as well, because they put in their emotions and their thoughts, and they put everything into that song.
Okay, well, now I'm really curious to know about that song. What's the name?
The song is called All the Pretty Girls by Kaleo. I don't know if you guys know the artist, Kaleo. It's a very, very good artist.
I really don't.
I can't say I do.
I'm actually gonna go listen to it. I'm really curious now. I also like sad songs. I have a whole my longest playlist.
Music genre does it?
Sad.
Sad. That's a genre.
I mean,
sad.
I don't know how to describe the genre. Usually it's a bit more, I would say, towards like the emotional authenticity. I would say, it feels very real, because it feels like they're singing about experiences and how they feel. And even if I'm not relating to it, it feels like I'm experiencing the things they were feeling in a way, and it feels very, very real in a way, which I think is good. It feels more human.
Yeah, I think people listen to sad songs to feel something.
Yeah,
definitely. That's why we added this.
I feel like sadness is such like a deep emotion, and like it doesn't feel as okay. That's gonna sound so bad.
It's also a very accessible emotion.
Yeah, like that's true.
So now stepping into some professional tips, we did some research on for you guys. Jade, do you have some tips?
Okay, so hopefully one day I will implement this into my life, but maybe not in the near future, which is, as I mentioned, the 8 reasons for procrastination. One of them is that you do a lot of the easier tasks first. So one of the tips that one of the professionals gave me was complete the hardest task first, and then everything else will be easy. Like, once you do the hardest thing first, and then like everything else is just like, meh, Well, I don't know. I've never actually tried it, so maybe I should try it.
I think you might be exhausted after the hard task so much, and you're
then not do anything else.
Yes, I did the hardest task, and then you're like, oh, I deserve time off, right?
That is actually
right, because you did the hardest task. If I complete my portfolio, what's not the portfolio? Then I'm not gonna think, oh, let me clean my room. It's not, let me get some sleep is the next thing.
Yeah, I don't think I really agree with that tip, because personally, I would much rather do the easier tasks, so then I could really, feel better about myself, that I've done something, I've started on the portfolio, I've done something on it. Yeah. So then, and I think if you start with the hardest task, for me at least, I will just get really stuck in it and spend so much time on it, while I could have also spent that time getting other things done, that are a little easier.
But I think that's a false sense of security. I think that's you giving yourself
could be
unfair validation for something that shouldn't be there. It's like a coping mechanism in a way.
Oh, definitely. I believe that. Yeah.
I think it's pretty subjective how you overcome.
Yeah.
Well, I also have a tip. And this comes from Jeremy Godwin. He actually has a degree in psychology and sociology, and also hosts his own podcast now on mental health. And he says to stop punishing yourself. And what he kind of means with that is that, punishing yourself doesn't improve the situation. It doesn't do you any good, to make yourself feel bad about yourself, it just makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
That obviously doesn't mean that you should, let yourself off the hook. You should still do what you have to do. But, and to quote once more Jeremy Godwin, it does mean that you choose to see your procrastination as a learning opportunity instead of a failure.
I don't feel like that applies to me, though.
And no, of course not.
At all. Because, otherwise you don't repeat it, right? It's not a learning experience. Because I don't think I beat myself up enough. Because I'm doing it every module again and again and again,
yeah,
right? So I don't beat myself up for it. I'm just suffering 24 hours and I'm be like, that's done.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
Weekend.
I found this quote that I wanted to share. And as much as I feel like I will probably never implement it in my life, maybe someone out there will do that. It's the more stressed you get about time, the more time you waste, which is pretty true.
Wait, could you say that again?
Sorry, I speak so fast. The more stressed you get about time, the more time you waste. So in other words, it's kind of like, don't stress about time. But now I'm thinking about it, and now I am stressing about it. So like, why did you say that to
I
me?
agree
But like,
yet disagree with that.
In what way?
I think that if the thing of stress builds up enough, the barrier of stress gets so high that you force yourself to do the task.
Yeah, but you've been wasting time this entire time.
Yeah, but otherwise, if you're not stressing, then you're probably not doing it anyway because it's not even on your mind, right? If it's last minute, you have to stress about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not doing it. At least I need to push for stress. I need to push. I need to feel like, oh shit, it's now or never.
But before, don't you ever feel like there's something kind of looming?
No, because I don't feel the stress then.
No, but like you're not stressed, right? But
Yeah.
like you feel like there's something that you have to do, and it's kind of like just looming over you, like it's there, and you know that it's there, and you're conscious of it. That doesn't like.
I actually, I can really resonate with it because personally, so what I'm
Wasting
trying
time.
right now for this module is really sticking to the plan, sticking to the schedule, and but it kind of works, but it doesn't work for my stress because I now stress about the time that I have, like, oh my gosh, it's already week 1. I need to have the LPC done. I need to have, a reflection done on the week. And like like you said in your quote, I stress out about time while I'm also just, wasting my time.
Also, I stress. Yeah, I think the difference between me and you with procrastinating is that I stress, but don't do anything about it. Like you not stress because you're going to do it last minute. I also know I'm going to do it last minute, but I'm still stressing before because I'm like, I have to do this. I'm not doing it,
So you're
I'm breaking my own heart here. I'm breaking my own heart.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, I also have a quote, and this is just a very funny one. It is from Christopher Parker. He's an English actor and television presenter. And he quoted, procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. That is so true.
Nice.
Yeah, that is.
No, I agree with that one. Right?
It is,
because
right?
I really agree with that one way more because it's way more like, oh, it's no stress. Oh, we're having fun. The social events that was.
We're having fun.
We're having a fun time. Great. We don't give a shit about the bill. And then the bill comes in, we're like, oh shit, dealing with that.
Right.
Either way, I think it's all just in general a big learning experience, and I don't think you can learn the lesson of beating procrastination in one module, 1 year, and I don't think you'll ever beat it in your lifetime.
It's a lifetime thing.
Yeah, you're never ever beating it. You can only learn how to deal with it
Exactly.
a little bit at a time. Maybe the Pomodoro technique works. Maybe it works by smalling it to a smaller task. I think you find out, over time, what works best for you in order to finish your tasks on time and properly.
Yeah, I agree.
And hopefully we all improve, and you guys maybe learnt a little bit from us today. Anyways, well, that was a really interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Jochem, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to everyone that was listening. And next time, for next episode, we will be talking about homesickness, which is pretty relatable, I think, because there's a lot of international students here. I don't know when the last time you went home was, but hopefully you all get to go home for Christmas. And so stay tuned and goodbye.